Look at all these hearts. They're beautiful and colorful, and it's just what I was going for. It's a two-toned heart-shaped quilt block in 5 easy steps, and here's how I did it. So I have made some beautiful heart-shaped quilt blocks. You know, honestly, heart shapes are not the easiest thing to work with, but I found a really simple way to make this work. I wanted to be like 2 tones, you know, a print in the center on a solid background. And look at all the color combinations we've done here. The list just goes on and on. So I was really surprised at how simple it was, and that it was only 5 easy steps, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do each one of those. So step 1 is that we're going to start with 2 pieces of material. They're each 9 inches square. One of them is white. I just found that to be the best choice for this. And the other can be the color of your choice. I'm using solids, but if you used a print, for example, you would want to lay that material face up first, then cover it with your piece of white fabric. Again, 9 by 9 inches. So what we want to do is we have to draw a heart in the center. I just cut one out of paper. I drew it off my computer where they have shapes, you know, you can print these out. And so lay it on top, center it as best you can, and with an ink pen, or this is the heat resistant pen, I drew the heart shape, as you can see. So that was step 1. Now, step number 2 is you need to take this over to the sewing machine and you need to stitch a line all around the heart shape that you just drew. Here, I stitched in red. You can see the tail still here, but that is going to be all you have to do, step 2. Step 3 is where the fun comes in, because we're going to, oh, and I'm going to show you on this one. Before I get to step 3, watch. Step 3 is cutting. So I'm actually going to cut into this heart, right? I cut into it, and I'm going to trim the inside of this heart. I'm going to trim it away. Now, as you can see, I'm cutting about 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch from the seam. I don't want to cut my seam apart, but I do want to cut this whole heart shape out of the center. And that is where we get to step 3. Look at this. The heart shape has been cut out. Now, hearts can be a difficult shape to work with. Anything with curves can be a little, you know, just a little touchy. The trick to this is you need to snip any place that has curves on it or any place that has points on it. So the heart, we have a point in the center, and we've got a point at the very bottom as well, and then curves on both sides. So there's a lot of snipping. This is a Fisker scissors that I have. They're spring-loaded. They're great for that. I have made a ton of little snips in here. I'm going to try to fluff these up so you can see. You'll see some of the red material behind there. I have cut these up really well. Then what you want to do, I'm going to go to the bottom of the heart first. I'm actually going to trim all the way to the stitching line to kind of empty this out a little, okay? And at the point of the heart, the top point of the heart, I want to trim it right across. Do not cut the seam though. And I'm also going to trim this back a little bit. So yeah, you make a lot of little confetti in this, and that's okay. So what we do now is we have to turn the front to the back. And what I'm going to do is take my red, I'm going to push it through the front. So see, I'm pulling red fabric through. Pull it through on all 4 sides. It's going to look really messy while you do this, but it's going to work as well. So look, here comes all my red fabric. Looks kind of rough, right? When you start pulling it apart and pulling your ends apart, you're going to start to see the shape. Now look, if you can zoom in or if you can see it at the top, the bottom of my heart shape, it's right here. I'm going to finger press that open. Finger press on both sides. We don't have a full heart yet. You know why? Because that point in the middle has not come down. The point is there. I'm going to turn this a second, but the point is hidden right now. So if you look under here, this is the point of the heart. It just hasn't been pushed through yet. So take a pointer tool and hold on to the top and the bottom, and you can push that point, push it right out. Now if you can see this, I'm going to continue to open the seam and just work it with my fingers. I'm just finger pressing this open, and the heart shape is really, really coming through. Okay, so that was step 3. That's a fun step. Now next, you're going to take this over and press it really well, because this is what it will look like. Of course, you won't have the confetti in the center. That's from what I just did. It looks beautiful, and what we're going to do now is take our square of fabric that has some print on it. This is a 5-inch square. You can use any kind of fabric you like, any print that you like. I feel like the crazier the print, the better it goes, especially with the solid. I'm going to lay this 5-inch square underneath and lay the heart on top of it. It looks beautiful, right? I want to just check each side here and make sure that I've got enough left over, because the final step to this, I'm going to set this aside. That was step 4. Step 5 is to top stitch around the heart. You know, choose thread that matches your solid color. I have done this in red thread, so it may not show up too well. But top stitching holds it all down, and it really brings this project to fruition. It's really beautiful, and you can make these in all colors, and I'd say the more color, the better. So I hope you give this a try. I have loved this project, and happy sewing.